It was a crisp autumn morning, 25 years after Sarah and David vanished. The air in Blackwood Forest was sharp with the scent of decaying leaves and damp earth, a familiar aroma to Elias Thorne, a seasoned logger who had spent his entire life working these woods. Elias was a man of few words, his hands calloused, his face weathered by years of sun and wind. He knew the forest intimately, every ridge, every hollow, every ancient tree. Today he was working a new section, deeper than his usual routes, clearing a path for a new logging road. His chainsaw roared, biting into the thick trunk of an old-growth fir. The rhythmic thud of falling timber echoed through the quiet woods. As he worked, his boots snagged on something partially buried beneath a thick layer of moss and fallen leaves. He bent down, expecting to find a gnarled root or a discarded piece of equipment. Instead, his fingers brushed against something soft, yet strangely rigid. Curiosity piqued, he began to dig, first with his hands, then with a small trowel he kept in his pack. Slowly, painstakingly, a shape began to emerge from the earth. It was a backpack, faded and stained, its fabric brittle with age. A jolt of recognition, a flicker of a long-forgotten memory, ran through Elias. He remembered the posters, the frantic search, the hushed whispers of the vanished couple. He remembered the faces of Sarah and David, their youthful smiles plastered on every lamppost. His heart began to pound with a mixture of dread and a strange, unsettling excitement. With trembling hands, he carefully unearthed the backpack. It was heavy, surprisingly so, given its age. He unzipped the main compartment, the zipper groaning in protest. Inside, nestled amongst layers of dried leaves and compacted soil, were several items. A worn leather wallet, its contents water-damaged but still discernible. A small, spiral-bound sketchbook, its pages warped and discolored, but with faint outlines of drawings still visible. And then, the most chilling discovery. A small, tarnished silver locket, clutched tightly within a skeletal hand. Elias immediately recognized the locket. It was identical to the one Sarah had always worn, a gift from David on their first anniversary. A wave of nausea washed over him. This wasn't just a backpack. It was a grave. He stumbled back, his mind reeling, the roar of his chainsaw now a distant, irrelevant sound. He knew, with a chilling certainty, that he had stumbled upon the answer to Oakhaven's oldest, most painful mystery. He immediately contacted the authorities. The new sheriff, a young woman named Emily Carter, arrived with a team of forensic experts. The scene was quickly secured, a perimeter established, and the painstaking process of excavation began. The discovery sent shockwaves through Oakhaven, ripping open old wounds and reigniting a desperate hope for answers. Eleanor and Robert, now elderly and frail, were notified. The news, though devastating, also brought a strange sense of relief. After 25 years of agonizing uncertainty, there was finally a tangible clue, a piece of the puzzle that had eluded them for so long. The forest, which had held its secrets for so long, was finally beginning to yield its truth. The discovery of the backpack and the remains sent Oakhaven into a frenzy of renewed speculation and grief. Sheriff Emily Carter, a sharp and determined officer, understood the weight of the case. This wasn't just another cold case. It was a living legend, a wound in the town's soul. The forensic team worked meticulously, carefully sifting through the soil, documenting every detail. The skeletal remains were identified through dental records as Sarah and David, their final embrace preserved by the earth. The initial forensic analysis revealed no obvious signs of foul play on the bones themselves, no bullet wounds or stab marks. However, the position of the bodies, intertwined and partially covered by a shallow layer of earth, suggested a hasty burial. The contents of the backpack, though degraded by time and moisture, offered tantalizing clues. The sketchbook, Sarah's beloved companion, contained not only her usual nature sketches but also a series of frantic, almost abstract drawings in its final pages, dark, swirling lines, distorted figures, a sense of terror captured in charcoal. The wallet, David's, held a few crumpled bills and a faded photograph of Sarah, her smile still radiant despite the passage of time. But it was a small, almost imperceptible detail that caught Sheriff Carter's eye. A tiny, almost microscopic tear on the strap of the backpack, consistent with a struggle. Further examination of the surrounding area revealed faint indentations in the soil, suggesting a struggle had indeed taken place. The investigation shifted from a missing persons case to a double homicide. The question that had haunted Oakhaven for 25 years now had a grim answer. Sarah and David had been murdered. But by whom? And why? The initial theories of a random attack by a stranger or a tragic accident were now replaced by a more chilling possibility. Someone in Oakhaven knew something. Someone had been involved. The news hit Eleanor and Robert with a fresh wave of grief, but also a strange, bittersweet sense of closure. They finally knew what had happened to their children. Even if the truth was brutal, they could finally lay them to rest, mourn them properly, and begin the long, arduous process of healing. The town, too, grappled with the revelation. The quiet, idyllic image of Oakhaven was shattered, replaced by the unsettling reality that a killer had walked among them, undetected, for decades. The case of Sarah and David, once a local mystery, now became a national story, drawing media attention and renewed interest from true crime enthusiasts. The police received a flood of tips, some helpful, many not. Sheriff Carter, with the help of modern forensic techniques and a dedicated team, began to re-examine every piece of evidence, every old interview, every forgotten detail. The hope was that, even after 25 years, the forest would finally reveal all its secrets, and justice would finally be served for the young couple whose picnic had ended in tragedy. The legacy of their disappearance would forever be etched in the history of Oakhaven, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the most serene surfaces. What are your thoughts on this tragic case? Do you have any theories about what might have happened? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more gripping true crime stories.